She was the best companion of my career. She was called Mercedes, a name which even today would mean a great deal on the track. But in '54, it was a car for the future. 2,500 without supercharge, desmodronic, direct injection, straight 8 cylinders, 300 horsepower. I'm truly grateful to her, for she helped me win 2 world championships. Together, in 2 years, we won every race except Monte Carlo, Spain, and Silverstone. The great Neubauer, that ex-driver who became our sports manager, confided her to me like a father giving away his youngest daughter in marriage. That was on the very day that Germany came back to racing. Mercedes were counting on me and on Kling and Hermann, and the year afterwards on Sterling Moss, to take up a long tradition of wins interrupted by the war.
Reims, 1954. My first race in the Mercedes. They christened her Silver Fish, a fish which flashes by terribly fast and which won't feel out of her depth in this pool which seems built specially for her. Reims is a fast circuit, ideal for our streamlined cars. We have 3 of them, mine, Hermann's, and Kling's. Kling and I take the lead immediately, and we don't budge. Behind us come Ferrari, Maserati. All the others weed themselves out without too much help. I win ahead of Kling, but then I ask myself, who is really the winner, I or the car? Nürburgring, a very sad day. During practice yesterday, my friend Onofre Marimon, whom I had brought with me to race in Europe, died in his Maserati. This morning I decide to give up this race, but then I find myself forced to obey the orders of the organization, like a soldier. So here I am, fighting a battle with my mind, but not my heart. Gradually, I find myself thinking of other things, no longer of him. I think that Nürburgring is not Reims. I think that if I'm to win, I must detach myself from the rest with my huge Mercedes at the first opportunity. I think that I must lose Gonzalez in his Ferrari before we reach the straight. I think that once I'm in the lead, I must not let anyone else pass me. I think of the tires, the gearbox, the oil, the clutch. I think of everything, but not of Marimon. Meanwhile, Gonzalez has stopped at the pits. He, too, was a friend of Onofre's. He withdraws halfway through the race and doesn't resume. Hawthorne's car also gives up, but he takes the Ferrari and hangs on to my tail. But it's too late. I've beaten the Ferrari at the right moment when Gonzalez was driving. A Gonzalez who did not think of everything, clear and cool, like me. I win. And as soon as that is over, I'm free. I am myself. Now I can think about you, my friend, and the great emptiness you've left behind. Monza. Ascari and Hawthorne driving Ferraris. Kling and I in Mercedes. I really win this race by being artful. There's trouble with the brakes which hasn't been corrected. Ascari and Moss are tailing me and keeping their eyes trained on me. Then they decide to overtake, but I ignore this, pretending I have some plan in mind. This way they strain and strain until they wear out their engines. And I, who was third, end up by being first. The hare and the tortoise. The old tortoise isn't so stupid after all. Berlin. Here you can truly say I'm sailing at home. And in a sense, so am I, even if I don't speak German. But then this extraordinary engine speaks for me. The team is enthusiastic, the circuit is fast, Ferrari and Maserati not too hopeful. Just what the doctor ordered for 3 brave Mercedes driven by Fangio, Herman and Kling. Just to show my appreciation, like a well-brought-up guest, I content myself with the record of the circuit. Then, at the finishing line, after you, Kling. Hawthorne continues to be my greatest rival. What's more, today I have to contend with his new Jaguar 3.5 litres with disc brakes, the first in the history of automobile racing. Our 3-litre Mercedes counters with a revolutionary brake, the flap. Macklin is on the track, one of the leads of this tragic play. There's also Colin Chapman, who later built the Lotus. In the Mercedes team, we are racing in pairs in 3 cars. I'm with Moss, Levegh with Fitch, Kling with Simon. Le Mans is the battleground of all the companies. All the big ones are in the mix-up, including Ferrari, who are counting on Castellotti. He takes the lead at once. We let him lead for 3 laps, then we move ahead and Castellotti drops back. On the 5th lap, Hawthorne's Jaguar sticks to my side, and this exhausting duel carries on for 3 hours, a sporting prelude to the tragedy which will engulf us all. It is 7 o'clock, and I'm just about to give the wheel to Sterling Moss. We are about 400 yards from the stands. I can see Hawthorne slowing down to stop at the pits, and immediately after, at 160 miles an hour, like a flash before my eyes, I see something which will stay with me for the rest of my life. At the pits, there is no red flag flying, so we continue driving till midnight, when a telegram from Stuttgart orders us to withdraw as a sign of mourning. Only then do we learn the official death roll. More than 90 dead, over 200 casualties. Some say that in fact they are 3 times these figures. It is the worst tragedy in the entire history of racing. Levegh is among those who die, and the burning remains of his Mercedes fall among the spectators. Names are bandied about, the blame is given to this person or that, but no one blames fate. While the race continues, crowds gather around the cars and express their disapproval of the drivers who did not stop. What they don't realize is that if the race manager were to stop it right now, everyone will invade the track and the ambulances will not be able to evacuate the casualties. Meantime, the radio, newspapers and television all demand an inquiry. The crowd want their scapegoat, a trial, a moral lynching. Who's to blame, they cry. Hawthorne, Macklin, Levegh.
Careful with accusations. I saw it all. I was at the back of the group. Macklin, Kling, Levegh, Hawthorne. Speed 160. After more than 3 hours racing, time to change drivers. Hawthorne slows down and makes for the pits. Later they'll question him on this move. But Hawthorne started decelerating at more than 400 yards from the pits, so he's quite within the rules. Macklin opens up a bit to overtake Hawthorne, who's braking. At that very moment, Kling steers towards the pits. Levegh, swerving at more than 150, tries to overtake, but there just isn't room. The Mercedes mounts the Austin and splits in 2. I grip the steering wheel and wait for the crash, which, I don't know why, just doesn't come. By some miracle, the Mercedes squeezes past Macklin's Austin, which is tearing holes in the asphalt. Behind me, I leave an inferno.